Here we have a new 2025 Nissan Rogue. This one comes in the S trim level with front wheel drive, glacier white paint, and then we have charcoal cloth interior. The powertrain consists of a 1.5 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that's mated to the Xtronic CVT that gets us 201 horsepower, 225 pound-feet of torque. But as we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. And the lights don't dance like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. But I really do like the newer front fascias on these Rogues. Ever since they got their refresh, they just look really good. And, you know, I think they hold a place in the small SUV market now. Down here to these wheels, these are gonna be 17-inch alloy. Really like the design there. And I apologize, there's construction going on out here, so the vehicles are a little dirty. But to the door panel, power door lock controls, power mirror controls. We can adjust the glass there. We do get blind spot monitors as well. And then we get one touch up and down on the driver's side window, regular power windows on the other 3 doors. Rear window lock is there, bottle holder. And then over here, auto stop toggle, hood release. We get a manual tilt, telescoping steering wheel. And then here is the manual driver's seat, so we can adjust the seat back here, seat bottom there, and then the seat back forward and back there. But I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Rogue today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But sitting behind myself, having the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3", longer legs, decent space back here. It's actually more roomy than I would expect in a vehicle of this make here. But rear AC vents, and there is a view of the front from back here. And we actually get the middle seat that folds down, and bottle holders are in the center. That's pretty nice on the S, I think. Grab handle here, you can hang a shirt on there if you need to. Now for the seat belts, you can actually put them on the side here to make them easier to kind of work with if you so choose, especially when you're folding the seat down. And your child locks lock, unlock there. But there's a look at the back end. There's underneath. And a manual lift gate, but plenty of space behind the second row. The top tethers are kind of covered here if you need to use those for your car seats. And then lift this up, you have a spare tire underneath there. This one includes a first aid kit, and then you get the side pocket here on either side. And then your fuel tank accesses right here with the capless fuel filler. And then if you want to fold the seat down, pull up here. It'll fold flat. And then pretty easy to just pop it back into place there. And then you have a little bit of recline if you need an inch or two. That's about all you get, but it's better than nothing. Front passenger seat, manual 4-way. You can adjust the seat back here, seat bottom there. Glove compartment here. And then to the window sticker. You all can pause anywhere you need to if you want to take a closer look at anything. But there are all the features. And the sticker price on this one is $31,320. But fuel economy's there, parts content. Now as we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. And again, it's a 1.5 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder. Now before we hop in the driver's seat, just a quick look at the blinkers. But now we're getting in the driver's seat. Get a hard vinyl steering wheel, but it's flat bottom, so I like that. There's the horn. Over here to the radio, we do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth. You get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wired as well. If you want to set up a preset or something like that, all you have to do is just scroll and then hold there, and it'll beep at you, let you know that it's set up. Go through your sources there. And then your settings down below. You can adjust your language here, your units of measurement right there. But it's a pretty simple system to use, which I like about it, but there's actually a lot to do in there, but it doesn't ever seem overwhelming to me. Volume knobs here on the side, click there to mute. And then this is a scroll knob, but you can push, and then you get the bass, treble, all that stuff up top there. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow you, just turn the steering wheel. Hazards are here. Single zone manual climate controls, you can choose fan direction there, fan speed here, cut the whole system off, and then temperature on that side. And then we do have 2 USB-C ports, so these go directly to the radio for the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So you don't have a USB-A anymore for that. Now for the shifter, hit the brake, push this button in, pull down for drive. You can tap for manual, and then you can actually use these paddle shifters behind the steering wheel for those simulated shifts. And then you could just push up for neutral, or hold up for neutral, and then push this button, pull all the way up for reverse, press P for park there. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. Automatic brake holds here. And we do get several drive modes. You have Eco, Standard, and Sport there. Now with the all-wheel drive versions, you do get, I think, a couple more, but with this one being front-wheel drive, you just get those 3, which is all you need. And then down there, we have the center console cubby space. There's a look at the back seat from up here. And then here we have the lights, sunglasses holder, vanity mirror, and then the stalk on the left side is your blinkers. We can adjust the high beam assist there, and then you can just use regular high beams there. And then we have our intermittent wipers on this side, so one-time off, intermittent low, high. We can adjust that intermittent frequency there, and your rear wiper intermittent on there. Push back for that fluid, then pull up for the front fluid. Now right side of the steering wheel, we have our standard cruise. You can turn that on or off there, set your speed, cancel, voice recognition, Bluetooth. And then over here, this pulls up our shortcut menu, so we can fool with that if you want to turn anything on or off there. And then track lists or radio station presets can be toggled there, volume here, and then we can scroll through or go through the sub menus using this here. So tire pressure monitors are there. You can see the blind spot monitors, the lane departure, all that can be adjusted. And then go into these settings, and you can change your units or language, customize the display, the tire pressure monitor settings, etc. But push button start. Finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Nissan Rogue S out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Rogue here, like I said earlier, I love the 1.5 3-cylinders in these. When they first came out, I was thinking, what is Nissan doing? But the amount of power that you get from these engines is insane. The variable compression turbo just really pushes this 3-cylinder pretty hard. You see the same thing somewhat with the Chevy Trax and the Trailblazers, but I just feel like this is so much more potent, and you get the CVT, and the Xtronic CVT really knows how to handle this. I like this a lot better than the 2-liter VC turbo that's in the Infinities, well, the Infiniti QX50. But I mean, it just feels more natural in this Rogue here. I feel like for this price point to be under 32 grand sticker, I get a lot for the money as opposed to paying 50 or 55 for a VC turbo with the CVT. But I also like having the different drive modes. Those come in handy. The standard is pretty good, but the sport is where this really shines. Just keeping the revs higher, just feeling the boost there. That's what I like about these, is you pretty much use the eco mode for traveling on the interstate or just driving normally around town. But when you need any sort of power, just put it in the sport mode and enjoy yourself. But I like how these handle as well. They're pretty easy to drive. They're not the smoothest vehicles on the road, but they do a pretty good job at having a good driving feel while also having a good ride quality. That's one place I feel like the Rogue just has a bit of an advantage over the RAV4. And then even the CR-V as well. I feel like the Nissan just rides a bit better. Now, I say this when I review these, but I rented one in San Diego a while back, and the vehicle just impressed me with the sport mode, but also just the fuel economy. I'm sitting there driving in California traffic where you're having to just give it wide open throttle at a moment's notice. People are all over the place, and this did a really good job at keeping up with most of the situations that I was put in. And then just the eco mode as well, when you're not having to give it anything, pretty easy to use. Now with the one I had, I think it was an S or an SV with all-wheel drive, so I actually had a knob down here, and that was pretty neat, just being able to just flip that at a moment's notice between the eco and the sport, and it just kind of gave it more of an adrenaline rush almost, just using that. Now the little switch here is good too, because it's just easy to throw it where you need it to be, but for the most part it's just easier for me to have the knob. But that also had several drive modes more than this does. This only has 3. That had about, I think, 6 or 7 maybe, because you had all the all-wheel drive modes as well. But again, just really easy to drive. There's really nothing to this. It's almost like it's at an idle here. You're at like 1,300, 1,400 RPMs, just cruising here. But I'm gonna get it ready to put in the sport mode, so I'm gonna put it into the standard drive mode now. We're gonna see what it's got. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit of space. I'm gonna give it a pull in the sport mode. Here we go. So, I mean, it's pretty quick getting up to speed there. And it was very, very easy to get going. But the sport mode, you might have heard at the beginning there, I had a little bit of a tire squeal. And that's impressive. But I want to give one more big thanks to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this Rogue today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But I mean, the ride quality on the interstate on these is very good, very smooth. Again, it's an overall easy vehicle to drive. There's nothing to it. And road noise is minimal, wind noise not even noticeable. But again, it's one of those vehicles, you think about it, it's less than 35 grand. It's basically right over 31,000, and you get so much, I think, for this price point here. You get a nice looking screen here, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You get the cruise control there, the blind spot monitors, of course, stuff that you'd expect, but then also just having the push button start, having the digital gauge cluster in the middle there. It's just a solid base model vehicle, I think. Now, me personally, I'd probably go up to like an SV or an SL, because I feel like for a few thousand more dollars, you get a lot more, because a Rogue decked out in a platinum trim level is just insane. But here in this S trim, if you're trying to keep the cost down and you don't want anything extra, a really good way to go, because you still get quite a bit. Again, for this to be a 1.5 turbo 3 engine, I think it puts down a lot of power, but you also get the efficiency as well when you keep it in eco mode. And you really get the best of both worlds if you're wanting something that just helps you save money in a world where costs are just getting higher and higher every day. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Nissan Rogue in the S trim level.